Joel Lozzi, and this is my wife Barbara. And pastors asked us to talk about how tithing has affected our faith and what we've learned about God through the giving process. And the short story is, our faith and trust in the Lord has grown as a result of that giving, and we've learned that God keeps His promises. And specifically, one of the promises I'm referring to is in Malachi chapter 3, where the Lord talks about take your tithe into the storehouse and test me on this and see if I won't open the floodgates of heaven and pour out a blessing so large it'll be so hard to contain. So this is one of the parts in the Bible where the Lord asks you to test Him. And I'll share with you a story of mine that's based on my keeping my tithing commitment and how I was blessed, but not only blessed, but blessed immediately. Years ago, I was between jobs and my money was running out. But I had a bucket of tithe money that I have yet to donate. And so as time passed, it came to a point where I had to make a decision. Am I going to give to God what is God's, or am I going to go grocery shopping? So I decided to write God His check, and I did so. And as I dropped the envelope in the mailbox, my phone rang. I answered the phone, and it was a job offer I wasn't expecting. Man, there are so many ways and forms and shapes of blessings. I can't even begin to start. It's just, it's individual. What are you looking for? What are your needs? Because they differ from person to person. And so that's, to me, how it would differ.
Can I answer that question? For me, in my faith journey, a lot of times those blessings, you don't even recognize them until after the fact or down the road. And sometimes you may never recognize them. It might be the difference between you got in a car wreck or you didn't, So it can be a monetary blessing or not. And in some of the reading I read, actually it was the commentary on Malachi 3, that those blessings may not be while we're here on earth. So I want to share a little bit about our tithing journey. So first of all, we have not always tithed according to biblical principles, but we have always given some amount of money to the church. But in hindsight, we realized that it was really insignificant. But that changed for us as our faith grew, and we know that God is very generous. And so it makes sense that as our faith grows, that we would also become more generous. So for me personally, I have a little funny story for you. Is for most people that know me well, they know that I'm a discount shopper. And most sales start at 20 or 25% off. Rarely would you see a 10% discount because that just seems so insignificant. And it hit me one day that if 10% is insignificant in my shopping behavior, why would it be so significant in my giving? And that was a turning point for me to consider and start tithing according to the Bible. And at that point, it was a logical, calculated decision. But over time, as my faith grew, it became a heartfelt response to the gratitude that I have for the Lord and all that He has done for me in my life.
We're on a journey, okay? And the end goal is to be Christ-like. And we'll never see that this side of heaven. But I think that over time, as your faith grows, you learn to tithe more. And you learn that I don't worship money. It's a tool. And I give where I can.
And for me, it was literally reading the Bible, studying the Bible for the first time. I didn't grow up reading the Bible. And so when I read it, and I read really for the first time about tithing and what it meant. We're going to follow the Lord. We're going to follow Him in all things that He asks us of us. And tithing was one of those. And it was hard. It wasn't easy at first. But it became easy and became joyful over time. So we really just wanted to share that story, but we also found some interesting information on the internet that I'd like to share. And I just remembered it's in my purse. This came from a Lutheran pastor, and this is about the benefits of tithing. So tithing helps us honor and worship God. It enhances our spiritual growth and our trust in God. It helps us to exercise discipline over our finances and helps us combat the destructive forces of materialism, consumerism, and greed. And we found all of this to be true. And last, The Lord asks that we be cheerful givers. But if you can't give cheerfully, give anyway. Confess your struggle and pray for the joy of giving.
Anything else you want to share?
I'm done.
You're done.